So so I know that obviously, and I think you recently spoke to either Movie Web or someone I was reading this morning. You kind of clarified it a little bit or said, hey, obviously there's a difference between 20th Century Fox
Yes.
and Disney.
I think I was thinking like a fox. Sometimes I think like a fox and I forget I need to think like a mouse. Okay.
You got it. Got it. Got it. All right. Now, there was also something that came out that said Ryan Reynolds is not allowed to ad-lib in Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Any comment?
Well, see, I can't stand that kind of stuff because what that's doing is it's cast a negative light on something that's going on. All of that, I don't know what you categorize that. Is it link bait? But it's meant to alarm you. So that news is meant to alarm you. And basically what's baked into that is, here's why you should be concerned about Deadpool 3, which then means, there's some alarm about Deadpool 3, which eventually boils down to, boy, there's problems with Deadpool 3.
Oh, yeah. Well,
look, man, I know. So I got called before and after on Deadpool 2. I got read the line. Ryan was in the ADR booth, and he was about to voice over the entire Domino created by a guy who can't draw feet line. And he's like, hey, I wanted to run this by you. This doesn't offend you, right? And I mean, I'm like, I don't care. I think it's great. And then they put that line into the movie, and that footage was shot on a reshoot. When I was on set on Deadpool 2, the battle that took place in the truck where they're transporting Black Tom and Domino's catching it with her. She's on the scooter trying to catch up, and Cable is running with his gun on the street. That entire sequence, I saw a version, and they allowed me to record it. Now you're never going to see it because I can't release it. But I saw a version where Black Tom breaks out of his. And when I say, I mean, I was standing there as this occurred, as this was filmed, where Black Tom breaks out of his cell, and he and Ryan have a giant hand-to-hand combat, and Ryan cuts his hand off. I mean, Deadpool, and it's this great hand-to-hand combat. Well, it was my favorite thing that I saw while I was there, and earlier in that day, I saw Cable and Deadpool fight it out, in that same sequence. And so they showed the movie to test audiences, and I've got the email from Ryan said, Rob, great news. They love your babies. They love Cable. They love Domino. We are going back in March to shoot more footage of Cable and Domino and expand that scene. So you should be thrilled. And in those reshoots is when Cable is shooting Ryan at point blank, and he's twirling and he can't catch all the bullets. So they're, shooting him and tearing that's all reshoots. And what I'm trying to say here is, and then they completely changed the Black Tom. He doesn't even get out of his cell anymore. They shoot him right through the glass, right? I mean, it's like, wow, they totally changed that. And they gave everybody else a little more. They gave more action to Cable did. Well, why am I telling you this? Because a movie is shot, assembled, tested. You guys all know this. But and then what people like, they go, we need more of this. Again, they build into the budget, we need more of this. So let's go back. We've got a week, we've got 10 days. We're going to add all this stuff specifically. And then that means new lines, new script, new voiceover, ADR. Again, ADR. And guys, the fact that tweet of mine got so many acknowledgments is somebody walked into a dark room and found the light switch and said, hey, here, see, it's that simple. Like it was such a common sense that no one was thinking, Ryan wears the mask, which means after the fact, he can on Deadpool 1 as well. I saw the second to last test. I saw the last test. They had different jokes, both of them coming out of his mouth, different voiceover. So the fact that they go, oh, Ryan Reynolds is going to be hamstrung and locked up and can't, that's bullshit. That's just not true. And so when I say there's real magic that happens in ADR, I just gave you 5 examples of something. All of those things I told you happened after principal photography. So yeah, there's a strike going on. It could end in the middle of production. The whole movie could be shot under the strike. and everything I just told you could still occur because there's, Ryan starts freestyling and he starts coming up with stuff. In one of the days on Deadpool 2, they filmed the painting when he's Bob Ross. That was filmed on an off day, and literally Ryan was yelling out to everybody, "Hey, anybody got another joke? Anybody got another joke? Throw it at me. I'll give it a shot." And he was asking people and because he's feeling it. He's like he's got his stand-up comedian energy going. So I just sit there and I go, why is, Ryan Reynolds will not be able, hey, Ryan can read exactly from the script during the movie, which is already a movie that's already been written, and he's, supervising that as a producer and everything else. So he signed off, and all you guys know, I have friends who had to hand in the final scripts for their season 3 shows, and their season 2s haven't aired, but they all had to put them in before midnight, May 1st. So a couple of my friends said, "Hey, Rob, I can't talk to you for 2 weeks. I've got to get a season's worth of. I'm doing the third passes on all these scripts to get them in because the studio is shooting. They've up the schedule this summer to shoot, so that we have content. So all these scripts." Deadpool 3 was vetted and vetted and vetted and vetted. And by the time we hear about a rewrite, that's already happened. A new writer came on board. The 4th writer came on board. Well, that means that's done. That was written. So they locked it, right? Your audience should know a locked script means they're ready to shoot. And anything else that changes, and a lot is going to change. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot is going to change. You guys all know this. They're going to make that movie like the other 2 Deadpools, like any Marvel movie. They're going to test it. Stuff that people like, they're going to do more. Stuff that people like, they're going to edit out. That's it. And I just think it's a practical way of looking at modern day filmmaking, and no one wanted to apply that logic. So when I said it, look, that's the other thing, man. I did not know that would get so much play. I'm trying to explain to people, like, basically, hey, don't worry. But suddenly it's this giant egregious statement I've made. And then I was told I was backing scabs, and,
wow.
I got all, everything I say. Everything.
You're all sensitive nowadays. That's a problem.
Go ahead.